Okay, we're going to review coordinate plane. Start out with some vocabulary. You've probably heard the word coordinate plane, but I want to make sure I get you some definitions for these words that should be familiar. The coordinate plane is the plane containing the x-axis and y-axis. Basically the grid with the x-axis marked and the y-axis marked. Would look like this. Okay, so here's an example of a coordinate plane. I have my grid here. I have a number line left and right. This left and right number line is our x-axis. We also have a number line vertically, up and down. That's our y-axis. So our x-axis moves horizontally, the y-axis vertically. On the coordinate plane, you plot points. And those points can be named using coordinates. So coordinates are a pair of numbers that describe the position of a point on the coordinate plane. It's written as an ordered pair x, y. So it gives you directions. If you've ever heard in a movie, what are your coordinates? And then somebody gives information about where they're located. So it's like a location. So where's the point located on the coordinate plane? We write them as x, y. Now those coordinates written as x, y means you have an x coordinate and you have a y coordinate. So let's look at some definitions for those. So first we'll look at the x coordinate. It's the horizontal value in a pair of coordinates. It's the left and right movement. It's our first value. So you can add that as well. Okay, so it's the first value in your ordered pair. It's the x. It's how you move horizontally, left and right. Now the y coordinate is the vertical value. It's the up and down movement in the pair of coordinates. And this is the second value. So our x is the first value, y is the second value. One very important coordinate that you do need to know about is called the origin. The origin is where the x-axis and the y-axis meet. So the x-axis and the y-axis meet at 0, 0. It's basically the center of the coordinate plane. So if we look back at our coordinate plane here, this point right here, 0, 0, is the origin. It's the beginning. It's where you start. When you graph points, you always start at the origin. That's the beginning. It's where everything begins. Just like if you think of anything, a story, when you have the story's origin or the character's origin, it's the beginning. Where did they start? You hear that a lot with superhero movies. the origin of the character is how the character began. Okay, origin in any other vocabulary, it's the beginning of something, the start. Same thing with plotting points. The origin is where you begin plotting or graphing points. Okay, last piece of vocabulary, the quadrants. So the coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants. And you'll see them labeled, have little boxes on your coordinate plane. And we starts in the upper right-hand corner. And this is quadrant number 1. And it actually goes in counterclockwise order. So to the left is quadrant 2. Let me make that look a little nicer. Quadrant 3. And quadrant 4. And you may see the quadrants written as numbers. You may see Roman numerals. So you might see like this. And then we have 4. Okay, so again, they may be written as Roman numerals. They may be written as numbers. So you definitely should know both. But the most important thing is knowing that the quadrants work in counterclockwise order. Because there will be times where you need to know what quadrant a point is in. And you can use the counterclockwise for your order.